Hey and welcome on this video on how to master the quantitative part of the GMAT exam. The GMAT generally consists out of three parts. The first one is the quant part. That's what I'm covering in today's video. I will have a deep dive into the separate parts of the quant and more how to approach more difficult questions also in follow-up videos, so definitely stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in those. So today we will focus on the quant part, but there is of course more. There is the verbal reasoning part and the data insight part, which just got recently added in the GMAT Focus Edition. I will tell you everything you need to know in this video about the quantitative reasoning part. This is an overview for you. I will, as I said, go into more detail in the upcoming videos. By the end of this video, you will have a clear game plan on how to tackle the GMAT Quant. And personally, I think that the Quant part is very straightforward in terms of preparation compared to the other parts. So it's definitely useful to invest a lot of your learning time into this part. Now let's jump into a bit more about how the quant is the part of the total exam. As I said, there are three parts and each are weighted equally to give you an overall score. In the quant part, you can achieve a score which is between 60 to 90. And this contributes to your overall score, which then can be between 205 and 805 in the total exam. 205 is the worst and 805 is the best, as you can obviously see. What should you aim for? If you want to be average, you should try to get approximately 78 points or more. However, what will I focus on in the upcoming videos and in this one is really if you want to be top 10% or even better than that. That's what my channel and the following videos will be about. It will be about the top performers. So if you're interested in just being average, this might not be the best video for you, because I will cover very difficult topics as well. So yeah, if you want to achieve top 10% in the GMAT Quant in the GMAT overall, you should have a score of approximately 85 ish, let's say, in the quant part to set you up for this. If you want to be even better, like top 1%, then you should have 89 or 90 points. You should be almost perfect here. Let's give you a bit more information before we actually dive deep into the following problems and parts of the GMAT. So in overall, there are 21 questions which you will have to answer in 45 minutes. These are all problem solving questions. There's no data sufficiency. The data sufficiency got moved into the data insight section. Calculators are not allowed, of course, and the geometry questions got totally kicked out of the GMAT. So this is a change from the old format, just for your information. And also what's new is that you can review and change up to 3 questions in the new GMAT Focus exam. I will do a video shortly where I give you more information on how you should handle this new rule and how it can benefit you in the overall exam. So yeah, use this flexibility wisely to double check, and yeah, if you have any questions about this, also drop them in the comment section below. Let's jump into the 3 quant areas. Personally, I would say all GMAT quant questions could be categorized in one of those buckets. The first is arithmetic, then algebra, word problems, and number properties. So yeah, let's just start with arithmetic. It's the basic of numbers and calculation, and it includes things like fraction, decimals, percentages, ratio, proportions, averages, rates, and other fundamental numerical concepts. And you may face also word problems in the arithmetic part, for example, calculating interests or discounts or mixing solutions. And just in general, strong arithmetic skills are essential for the entire GMAT Quant part, so not only for the arithmetic, you will also need it for the other parts. I've showed you one example here on the right. I will just read it and tell you the solution. I will not cover this in detail, how to get to the solution. I will do this in upcoming videos, so if you want to see those, subscribe to the channel. I just read it for you. A company's revenue increased by 20% from 2023 to 2024. In 2025, the revenue decreased by 25% from its 2024 value. If the company's revenue in 2025 was $900,000, what was its revenue in 2023? Yeah, you can pause the video and think for yourself, 1 to 2 minutes. If you want to solve this yourself. Otherwise, I will just skip to the result in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct result is 1 million. Now let's jump to the algebra part. Algebra covers solving equations in inequalities. This can be both linear and quadratic equations, as well as topics such as exponents or roots, and in general algebraic problem setups. You should be comfortable here with manipulating algebraic expressions and solving for variables. Algebra is often needed to solve complex word problems or to simplify quantitative scenarios. I also provided you with an example question here, which again I will not cover in detail how to solve it, but just for you to see how it's set up. I will just read it for you. A small company sells 2 types of GMAT prep courses, a standard one and a premium one. The premium one costs $80 more than the standard course. In 1 month, the company sold twice as many standard courses as premium ones, and the total revenue from both courses was $7,200. How much is the standard course? This question I think is a bit more difficult than the first one, but it still should be solvable. Those are not the hardest questions. I will give you just the solution in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 240 in this case is the solution. Now let's jump to word problems. These are questions about the behavior of integers and other numbers. It can be translating real-life scenarios into equations, applying logical reasoning. It can be divisibility rules, factors, multiples, prime numbers, even numbers, odd numbers. You might just analyze how numbers behave under certain operations and constraints. And this section is about basically logical reasoning with numbers. Here I also provided you with an example question of 2 machines, A and B, working together can produce 360 parts in 6 hours. Machine A also produces parts twice as fast as machine B. How many parts can machine A produce alone in 5 hours? Take your time if you want to solve this. I will just solve it in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The solution is A, 200 parts. Lastly, let's jump to number properties, which is the 4th major component and the last one. These will test you the understanding of integers, basically. It includes divisibility, factors, remainders, modular arithmetic, and integer constraints like positive, negative, or even odd rules. And in this example, you have an integer n, which is divisible by both 6 and 15. So which of the following must also divide n? yeah, as always, 5 possible solutions, and I will give you the solution for this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is option C. If you have any questions about how to solve them, write them in the comment section below. I will also cover those problems in follow-up videos, so you might also want to check them out. Lastly, I have some helpful tips for you on how to approach the GMAT, and those are probably not the most straightforward points you will hear every day. The first one is don't simplify too early, rather simplify smartly. This means many students waste their time just trying to simplify everything, but this doesn't make it easier many times, especially if you get to the more challenging questions. Rather look for cancellations or patterns before starting with too much simplification. The second tip is plug in strategic weird numbers, what I call them weird numbers. Often, if you have a problem, you will plug in 0 or 1 or 10, but especially the hard questions are set up in a way that they know that you will put up those, that you will start with those numbers. So rather go with maybe something negative, maybe some decimals if that works in the question. So yeah, always go for the weird numbers because this makes you more, this will reduce your errors. And lastly, basic tip but really important, read the final question twice. I tell this all the time when somebody asks for advice. I mean, this is the most basic but also the most useful advice, is just read the questions at least twice when you approach them, but also once you solve them again one time. Because I think there has never been somebody who had a bad grade because they read the question too often, but there have been bad grades because people don't read the questions enough. So make sure you read the questions enough. And lastly, if you don't know how to progress further, use the answer choices as clues. One of the 5 is definitely right. Maybe you will be able to eliminate some answer choices just because of logical reasoning. So this will also help you to solve the problems. So now let's wrap up the video. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you like the video, if you think this is useful, and then see you in an upcoming video.